Hello, I'm Nicola McGuinness, career and confidence coach, and I help women progress and pivot in their careers and in their businesses. And it is my absolute pleasure to talk to the Evole Academy members today. One of the biggest barriers in our careers is the fact that as women, we are loath to self-promote. We find it cringy, icky, and not something that comes naturally to us. In fact, we've been socialised to be more modest. Be a good girl by putting others first, never say no, work hard, stay under the radar, don't blow your own trumpet, and don't take risks. And add to that, studies have shown that both women and men don't like women who promote themselves. They are seen as braggy, bossy, or aggressive. And as social beings, we want and need to be liked, to be accepted and to fit in, yet we also want and need to be respected for our achievements. This creates the double bind, where we don't speak up, we stop engaging, and therefore we don't get noticed. And when we do speak up, we may get sanctions for not adhering to the stereotype of how our gender should behave. Another reason we tend to not self-promote is because we're thinking of others. We don't want to alienate or dismiss less successful people. And then finally, the good old imposter syndrome. It raises its head, it leaves us uncomfortable speaking up about our achievements, and most of us suffer from it, where we doubt our capabilities despite the tangible evidence. And when you are part of an underrepresented group, such as being female, which are often underrepresented in every area of business, you are more likely to suffer from imposter syndrome. And of course, all of this is further exacerbated by the biases that exist in the workplace, such as performance bias, affinity bias, maternal bias, and many more. But that's a whole other workshop in itself. So today in the workplace, doing a great job is not enough to get you recognition. It's not enough to deliver well and be liked, or to assume that the important people know your work. Have you ever noticed how less competent colleagues can advance while you continue to work hard and not advance? And this is very likely down to the fact that they are good at self-promoting and creating a personal brand, which means they are more visible and therefore more likely to be thought of when an opportunity arises. So, self-promotion is crucial to succeeding at work, and you need to see it as part of your everyday job. We have to fight through the discomfort and learn how to self-promote, because the evidence shows that the more proactive you are in making your achievements visible, the more you advance. You get promoted or you grow your business. So contrary to what we were taught and how we think, good work does not speak for itself. Let's take a gender lens and think about men and how they generally self-promote. Most of them have no problem overestimating their achievements. And when men do well, if they close a big deal or get a promotion, they take on board the praise. They will happily attribute that success to themselves. When women do well, they underestimate their achievements, deflect the praise, and attribute the success to outside factors such as other team members, a bit of luck, the right place at the right time, undermining their achievements. And we'll hear and say phrases such as, "It's not that big of a deal. It wasn't that important. It was an easy task. That'll never happen again. That was a fluke." And what's happening here is we are not owning our success. You're not successful because you got lucky. You're successful because you've earned it. And the more that we start to own our achievements, and the more we can take the positive feedback and the compliments, the more we then build up our own confidence. For self-promotion to work, you need to be deliberate and you need to be intentional in your actions, and seek out and take every opportunity you can to speak up about what you have achieved and what you're capable of. So here you ask, how do I self-promote if I have this icky feeling about it? I wouldn't even know where to start. So here are my top five actions that you can take to help you self-promote, be a self-advocate, and establish your personal brand. Number 1, when you seek these self-promotional opportunities, the words and phrases you use in your communication really matter. Your phrases and words and how you say them are just a few of the little things us women do in our communication that really aren't so little. They have a big impact in undermining how powerfully we come across. So watch your language. How many times do you say sorry when there is absolutely no need? Get aware of this. You will be amazed how many times you do it. If you'd like to interrupt someone in a meeting, rather than saying sorry to interrupt, say, I have an idea, or I'd like to add. And if you haven't replied to a message promptly, say, hi Joe, I was working this morning and XYZ. Or if you're late, try, thank you for waiting. So if you've even been moaning to a friend, instead of apologising for going on and on, just say thanks for listening. And that way you're giving them a gift of gratitude instead of making yourself look small. And our hedge phrases such as, I wonder would it be possible, can I maybe have a few moments of your time? Maybe if we do this because we hear other girls and women talk and we mimic what we believe feminine behaviour is supposed to sound like. So saying something without coming on too strong and playing into that double bind that I spoke about earlier, we're attempting to lessen our perceived competence so that we come across more likeable. And then in turn, often when we speak without the softeners, we are perceived as competent but less likeable. However, you can combat that with your own personality traits on our non-verbal communication, like opening the door, asking about a project or family, something personal, smiling, nodding and reflecting body language. Number 2, own your strengths. Learn to accept praise. Give it time to sink in. Don't deflect it. And when someone gives you feedback or compliment, don't deny them the joy of that gift and deflecting it. If it was a physical gift, you wouldn't throw it back in their face. Number 3, journaling and tracking your achievements in a success journal. It's a personal favourite of mine and one that I rave about with my clients. And a side note, if you register for the self-belief journey through my link in my Instagram bio, you will get a whole guide on this. A success journal serves many purposes. It's your record of achievements for interviews or talks or negotiations. It's great for those bad days when you're struggling to quieten your inner critic. Just go and pull out the evidence. It's a great opportunity to celebrate your success, and it makes you pause and note it rather than moving on to the next thing, as busy women so often do. Number 4, the fourth way to work on your self-promotion is through your networking. Women are great at maintaining relationships through conversations, and we need to use this to our advantage. Bring your feminine traits into your self-promotion. Our relationships are critical for professional success. Whether it's trying to find a job promotion or a new customer, all of that is impacted by the strength of our connections. So it's really important to be attentive to our networks and making sure that we're maintaining them for our own benefit, but also how you can help others that you're connected to. And LinkedIn is so important. You need to use it. It is your digital best friend when it comes to self-promotion. It's so good for your personal branding. What is it you want to be known for? Well then, better get on with it and tell the business world what you stand for and what you are great at. How will they know if you are as quiet as a mouse? Number 5, stop worrying about others. It may surprise you to hear that when you're interacting with an individual or a group, for 80% of the time they are focusing not on you, but on themselves. And partly because people aren't great listeners, and also they have so much else going on. When you're speaking at a meeting or attending a networking event, the other people are far less likely to be judging you than thinking about what they're going to say next or what's for lunch. So if you get hung up on what others will think, your fear will take over and you won't be able to take action. So you need to rally for yourself. No one else is more concerned about your career than you. So pay no heed to what others think is such an important mindset shift, because when you free yourself from the fear, it allows you to do more things. And my last word on this, you need to be deliberate to get visible. There is no such thing as a silent and invisible leader or business owner. Self-promotion is an essential part of your career and your business growth. If you'd like to see and hear more from me, follow me on all the social media channels for more tips and insights into how you can grow your confidence and self-belief.